you guys. Whew. Yeah, you caught me. I'm sorry about that. It's just a sad situation. The world is sick. Everyone is angry. Dumpster fires everywhere. And worst of all, I'm bored. Seriously, I'm bored. I'm trying out new things. I'm sitting here in the park. Okay, you guys are right. This isn't me. This isn't me. Thank goodness. Well, what can you say about Heart of Darkness? If you grew up in the 90s, you've probably known somebody who owned it, or you owned it yourself and couldn't complete it because you lacked the balls and it was rather difficult. It was developed by French game developer Eric Shahi, who was also known for another innovative game from back in the 90s, Another World. The game is mainly composed of some difficult but fair levels and cutscenes that were cutting edge back in 1998 but would be considered mediocre today. The game's score was composed by 9 times Emmy Awards winner and 1-time Academy Awards nominee Bruce Broughton, and the game sounds pretty much like every 90s and 80s kids movie or television series, so I guess the game should be perfect for kids out there. Spoiler warning, this is not the type of game you play for the plot, so I will be showing you the entire game. You have been warned.
Andy! Have you not enough again?
No, I was just...
Sleeping in my class in broad daylight. Well, let's see if you're more alert in the dark. You can spend the rest of it...
The game starts by introducing us to our main protagonist Andy, who is being physically abused by his teacher. Luckily the bell rings and Andy escapes, probably to contact the proper authorities. We are introduced to Andy's dog, Whiskey, who for some reason gets sucked into his solar eclipse. Andy, determined to save his dog, runs home to his treehouse, which is for some reason filled with strange, suspiciously advanced contraptions. Also, apparently Andy has a spaceship in his treehouse and a robot that packs his lunch. Wait, what? Just who in their right mind would invest in such high-end machinery to pack some canned food and an apple? Anyway, Andy gets into his spaceship and takes off. For some reason he flies through the solar eclipse. The spacecraft gets wrecked and the game starts almost immediately with you escaping the crash site. If you screens in and you see who your enemies are, shadow creatures who take different shapes and forms, there are shadows of objects who try to squash you or throw you off a cliff. Then there are walking shadows that are man, dog or gargoyle shaped. Andy took his trusted weapon with him that keeps these enemies in check. It's quite fun to use actually. The problem with his weapon is that if you screens in, Andy loses his weapon as a fat bastard appears and eats his equipment. There goes the lunch that robot packed with so much love. After getting away, Andy escapes by climbing up a cliff, and the game transitions into a cutscene. What the hell is this walking, talking pink dildo? Anyway, your enemy seems to be this Lord of Darkness character. He stole your dog, so you're gonna John Wick his ass. See, this is one of the amazing things about the game. Transitions between gameplay and cutscenes. Sometimes you're rather surprised but not really annoyed that you reach the end of the stage and are transitioned in the most perfect and logical way onto the next stage. You spend the next stage running around like a bitch until you run into some strange creature that is fighting a gargoyle. You save the creature and the next scene starts.
I'm Andy.
Holy shit, it's an incel! The creature grabs you and flies off with you to its island, only to be attacked by a shadow gargoyle, and Andy falls into the lake. At the bottom he finds a magic rock, and he touches the rock and gains the power to shoot energy blasts, just like in Dragon Ball Z. The energy blasts can kill enemies, push objects, or plant seeds to make trees. Andy uses the underwater cave system to get back to the surface, and is captured by the incel from earlier, and is then taken to its village. Apparently they call themselves amigos in this game and use Spanish words mixed with English words when communicating, which makes cutscenes in this game almost incomprehensible. This becomes much worse when you consider that half the time you do not even hear what is being said because the music is louder than their voices. Luckily, this is not exactly the game which you play for the plot. After Andy uses his power to feed them into pregnancy, the village elder tells Andy the meaning of life.
You fly from sky to find amigo like this.
The village is then attacked by shadows, and Andy tries to fight his way through the hordes of shadows that are attacking the village, only to fall off a cliff. If you want to categorize the gameplay in Heart of Darkness, it's as easy as it comes. You have 8 stages, each containing like 20 screens. I didn't count them, so don't hold me on my word. Each screen contains one of 4 minigames. It's either run like a bitch, complete a puzzle, beat the swarm, or fight and climb. In puzzle screens, you are faced with an obstacle that hinders you from progressing, so you move around solving small pieces of the puzzle until you manage to progress. In order to complete puzzles, Andy often has to do one of the other minigames. In Fight and Climb, you're trying to climb somewhere and you have to fight your way through enemies while you're doing so. Enemies like shadows of objects that throw you down a cliff. Spiders that use their saliva to lubricate hand and foot holdings, causing you to fall to your death. Then you have worms that pierce through the wall like it's butter and snap your neck as soon as they come near you. In Beat the Swarm, you are faced with a swarm of shadows and other monsters and have to eradicate them before they get you and kill you in the most gruesome of ways. The AI of each creature in the game is programmed so that monsters act differently in each screen. For example, in this screen of Fight and Climb, I play a game of whack-a-mole with worms. In the next screen, however, I cannot do that because they would immediately snap my neck. The reason for that is of course that in the second screen they are part of a puzzle that you have to solve in order to progress. After you get out of the stage, you meet a bunch of amigos who tell you that they are tired of flying, but cannot touch the floor because they turn into shadows if they do. So you decide to go and help them by getting them the magic stone from earlier. They harness its power and go on a full frontal attack on the Lord of Darkness and his minions, giving you the opportunity to move in. With each level you start noticing a slight increase in difficulty. Make no mistake about it, this game ain't no walk in the park. It's a tough and grueling experience for anybody. Heck, I don't even play on hard mode, I'm still getting my ass whooped. The last 2 stages will get you to your limit. Their difficulty is legendary. I spent like 3 hours trying to complete them. The game is filled with death traps that get progressively harder with each screen. By the end of the game you will find yourself constantly dying. Check this screen out for instance. These turn into 2 pieces of crap when you blow them up. You have to charge up your energy blast and destroy them before each of them turns into a 7-foot high walking piece of crap. Here's the problem. When you charge up your energy to destroy these piles of poo, the shadows on the ceiling, who remained neutral until now, will suddenly throw themselves at you to hinder you from doing just that. And before you know it, your screen is filled up with 7-foot tall pieces of crap. Heart of Darkness is a rather challenging game that will keep you dying on the same screen over and over and over again until you learn to get good. Sometimes you don't understand the puzzle mechanics, so you will die like 100 times until you get good enough to complete that one screen you're stuck on. But you know what? I have the solution to all of my problems. This right here, C4 pre-workout. It will fill my balls up with rocket fuel and get my reaction time up to the level of a goddamn ninja! Oh, yeah! Come on, doggy, 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 protect that piece of crap. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'll pulverize you. I'll Vegeta your ass. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah! Let's go! I think I'm starting to get an itch around the ear area. Andy makes his way to save his dog Whiskey, who has been imprisoned by the walking, talking pink dildo from earlier. Andy and Whiskey try to escape. While they're doing so, you find out that for some unexplained reason, that pink walking talking dildo managed to roll the magic stone all the way up to the Lord of Darkness, who destroys it. After the stone gets destroyed, Andy loses his power and gets eaten by the same monster that destroyed his equipment earlier. Andy destroys it from inside out with his laser gun, that has been clearly destroyed earlier. When you get the laser gun back, you notice that it is the far superior weapon and that it is much more fun than having magic powers. The walking talking pink dildo tells Andy that he needs to collect the fragments of the magic rock to fight against the Lord of Darkness. Andy finds all the fragments except for one of them, which is located at the bridge below.
There it is! On the bridge! We have to have it!
Andy goes to get the last fragment and is ambushed by a swarm of shadows and the Lord of Darkness himself. Basically you arrive at the boss fight stage, which is a few screens of the Kill the Swarm minigame with the Lord of Darkness constantly throwing fireballs at you from the back. This is the hardest stage in the game, and I keep constantly dying over and over and over again. But worry not, I have the solution for all my problems. Yeah! Take that! Yeah. You're not gonna become a 7-foot tall piece of crap now, are ya? Lord of Darkness? You're just my bitch! You're still not gonna get me. You're still not gonna prevent me from getting that damn piece of rock. I finally managed to beat the boss stage. Boy, this was a hard one. Andy returns the last piece to the magic rock, and it gets sucked into the heart of darkness. As Andy falls into the heart of darkness, he gets trapped in limbo, fighting apparitions for eternity, until a bright light shines in his face and you discover that it has all just been a dream.
Are you alright? Now you were supposed to be looking after him instead of playing up here by yourself.
Well, that was the Heart of Darkness. All in all, it has fun, whimsical cutscenes with a great music score. The gameplay is fun, yet really challenging. The graphics are a little bit outdated, but heck, if graphics are important to you, get yourself a PC version. There are probably even updates on the internet from the community that will improve your graphics even further. Personally, I'm a console guy. I don't care that much about graphics, so I got myself my PS1 version. If I have to say something negative about the game, it would also be the cutscenes. Half the time I don't understand what is being said because either the music is too loud or because Spanish words are used, and the cutscenes are filled with cliches from other games and movies, television series from the 90s. All in all, I give the game a 7.5 out of 10. If you want a good, challenging side-scroller that will kick your butt, get this game. I'm Dr. Sledgehammer, your doctor for all your cases of boredom. I'm thankful that you tuned in, and I will see you guys in the next time.
Oh, God!
Oh, sorry.